Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael, and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a user named OKCode in the relationship advice subreddit. The post is titled, "My partner of 2 years is adamant I am cheating on him. I am not." Just a bit of context. We've been together for 2 years. He has 2 kids, I have 1 kid. Irrelevant to this story. We live apart and are together only when our kids are with their other parent. He's the guy who has treated me the best out of all my relationships, and I love him dearly. I'm a chronically anxious and stressed person, and he's absolutely my peace, but today he sucker punched me with this. He's absolutely convinced I'm cheating on him. The reason he suddenly started thinking this is because 2 days ago I wanted to show him something on my phone. There was an irrelevant tab open. He saw quickly in passing that there was a folder with a man's name, let's say James. I don't remember the purpose of this folder. It's empty. I haven't touched it in 15 years, and I have no idea why it exists. It was probably useful at some point, but I have no idea now. Well, now he's convinced that I closed the tab too quickly. I was acting weird, nervous, and suspicious. This means I've cheated or I am actively cheating. That's his perspective. Now on to the actual truth. I am absolutely not cheating on him. He's the man of my dreams, the love of my life, and I have never ever given him a reason to even suspect I'm cheating. I spend 1 entire week with him at his place, never hide my phone or anything like that. When I'm at my house, it means I'm with my kid, and my time is 100% devoted to her. I also work a lot. There is not a single second in my life where I would have time to devote to any other person, even through email. I spend my downtime at home being with my kid and the cat, watching YouTube videos. I send him a lot of pictures of me chilling with my cat as well, and we have constant communication. Anyway, at first I was super pissed and also confused because why on earth would you not trust me? What is happening? No matter what I say, he says I don't make any sense whatsoever, and he's just adding 1 plus 1, and to him the answer is 2. I keep telling him that he's the one not making any sense. We're going back and forth texting. He doesn't even want to speak over the phone or come over to talk about it. I've sent him numerous screenshots of my email with unopened emails that go back more than a year. I've sent screenshots of me typing the keyword James in the email and nothing coming up. I've shown him the completely empty sent folder. I've also given him the login and password so he can look for himself. I've accumulated a lot of junk in that email over the many years I've had it, but I rarely use it now. I'm pissed he doesn't trust me. He says he needs time to think. I'm stuck in a loop of being pissed, confused, and sad. What's going on? Help. Olivia Prestian said, "Is this incredibly out of character for him, or has he always been a bit jealous and suspicious? Could he be the one cheating and projecting?" To this OP said, "This is wildly out of character. I am unsure if he would be projecting his own cheating. Anything is possible, but I would hope not. I don't believe so. He has a high libido and we have sex daily, except when one of us is sick. I give him everything he needs in that department and in all the other areas as well. We typically take good care of each other." Fulgerts55 said, "You said 2 interesting things. You don't know why the James folder exists, and the sent folder is empty. These things don't happen by themselves. Think carefully about whether someone else has access to your email. My advice is to check your email access and change your password. If you want to avoid aggravating the conflict, you can give him the new password so he can continue to have access. Someone may be trying to create problems for you." SideUp said, "I can't help you if you won't tell the full story. As an IT professional, tabs don't open themselves. If you had a Hotmail tab open, you've accessed it more recently than the last 15 years. I doubt your phone is 15 years old. Second, if it wasn't a big deal, why didn't you just pull it back up? And why did you have to make up a name for the message? If it's not someone you know, then the name doesn't matter. And if it is, then why are you hiding it? I am not sure exactly what's happening, but you're not being transparent and your husband is being jealous. And since you say you aren't cheating, let's be clear that emotional cheating is still cheating. I'm not saying you're doing it, but I'm suggesting you might not think you're cheating even if you were. If you want to respond and provide more information about this email that has caused so much trouble, then I can try to give some advice. but as it stands, all I can offer you is this: be honest with yourself and your husband. If this is an issue, then something is wrong in your marriage, and you two need to talk about it and figure out what it is, or it's not going to last much longer. Update: so it did not end well. After 48 hours of back and forth through text, because he refused to even speak to me over the phone or face to face, and me giving him my passwords so he could check for himself that nothing was wrong, he still wouldn't back down. At this point, his behavior was concerning, and I thought he might be having a mental episode. It was getting to be too much. He was texting me at all hours of the night, trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense in the first place. So I blocked him. When he realized that, he sent me emails at my work email asking me to check my Hotmail, which had nothing different in it. When I blocked his email, he decided to message my best friend, telling her, if I can't talk to her, I'll go through you instead. My friend has literally nothing to do with this whole thing. She never replied and is sticking with me because she's also seeing how crazy he's acting. So I thought that was that. Yesterday at work, I was visibly sad and distressed, and my whole team hugged me, offered support, and I had lunch with another good friend and colleague. So the day goes by, I get off work at 4. I am walking to my car in the parking lot, flanked by 2 colleagues, and I'm kind of explaining the whole story. They go to one of the girls' cars because they carpool. I walk toward my own car, which is parked 2 rows away. I hear a loud man's voice behind me. I turn around and it's him. He's walking very quickly toward me and still talking nonsense about emails. I hold my hand up and say, "I'm not doing this with you right now," all the while calculating whether I am safe to go to my car. He was screaming at me, calling me a whore and a slut. I've never seen him like this before at all. A little burst of energy pushed me to turn around and go to my colleague's car. At this point, I'm shaking and scared. I enter her car and start hyperventilating. They're like, "We'll drive you home." He was about 6 feet from the car, hate in his eyes, motioning for me to get out of the car. We drove off. I kept apologizing to them, crying and looking behind us the whole trip to make sure he wasn't following. When I came home, my mother was there. I broke down and she called the police. A nice officer told me over the phone, "I've got nothing else going on right now. You're my priority and I'm coming to you as soon as I can." He came to my home, took my statement, was extremely patient and understanding, and explained everything that he was going to do afterward. My ex was placed under arrest for a criminal harassment with certain conditions to follow. I'm not sure about the legal terms here, but they did not handcuff him or take him to jail. It was just a verbal warning, and he will probably be summoned to court at a later date. I have a good network of people who care, and I believe I'm safe. Thanks everyone. Edit. I just had a 2-hour conversation with his ex, let's call her Jess. It was a very interesting conversation. She has lived exactly the same situation as me, minus calling the police. She told me he was ultra controlling, physically and verbally abusive to his 2 sons, had a bad drug habit, an unhealthy and borderline inappropriate relationship with the mother of his children, and was psychologically and sexually abusive towards Jess. She told me he used to put her on a pedestal just like me, but he had a lot of behavior problems. I hope he gets the help he needs. Edit 2, he's following me. I saw him twice today where he shouldn't have been. I documented that at the police station. They're super nice and understanding, thank God. This next post was made in the same subreddit by a throwaway account. The post is titled, "I think I messed up with my fiance." At first I thought it was an overreaction, but after posting on AITA, I have come to realize that I may have messed up big time. I overstepped my bounds. My fiance cut off his mother when he left for college at 18. His mother was a teenage mom who gave birth to him when she was 17, but according to my fiance, she was not really there as a mother. She tended to prioritize her relationships with men, which put her and him in toxic situations at times. Recently, his mother reached out to me on Facebook, asked to meet up, and gave me her side of the story. She was a young mother who wasn't always aware of her resources, so she made mistakes. She was essentially a child raising a child, and she really wants to make up for those mistakes, but my fiance never gives her the opportunity. She was hoping I could convince him to just have a cup of coffee with her. I felt a lot of empathy for her because my mom is also a teenage mom. Although she made a lot of mistakes, she loves me, and I just can't imagine cutting her off. I knew it couldn't have been easy for his mother, so I invited her to our apartment and waited for my fiance to come home. I didn't want to blindside him, but when I mentioned his mother, he was not one to budge. He always thought the worst, so I felt like I needed to do it that way. He came home, left after 5 minutes of back and forth, and when he came back the next day, he told me he was rethinking us getting married. We have been together for 6 years, and I am utterly in love with him. The thought of him leaving me makes me sick. How do I get him to forgive me and trust me again? Update. I know now that I made a huge mistake. My fiance and I had another conversation, and he told me he is having a hard time getting past what I did, but he thinks we should go to couples therapy to try and see my point of view, because he can't understand why I didn't take his word for it. He thinks that this way we can both understand each other's perspectives and learn how to deal with similar situations if we come across them when we get married. So we are pausing wedding plans for now, but he is still my fiance. I have sent his mom a message asking her not to contact me again and that I can't be a middleman. After that, I blocked her. I now understand the degree of my mistake and am going to do better in the future. I genuinely didn't mean to undermine what he went through as a child. Drunk on Red Cordial said, his story. According to my fiance, she was not really there as a mother. She tended to prioritize her relationships with men, which put her and him in toxic situations at times. So there were men in and out of the house, which would have put your fiance at high risk of abuse or toxic situations. She didn't protect him. She chose her latest relationship over his safety and well-being. His mother's story, she was a young mother who wasn't always aware of her resources, so she made mistakes. She was essentially a child raising a child, and she really wants to make up for those mistakes, but my fiance never gives her the opportunity. It doesn't sound like she acknowledged or addressed any of the issues her son raised. Wasn't always aware of her resources, sounds like she missed out on getting some single mother's benefit. Repeatedly exposing a young child to toxic situations is not a mistake. It's a choice, and she can't make up for it now that he's an adult. I didn't want to blindside him, but when I mentioned his mother, he was not one to budge. He always thought the worst, so I felt like I needed to do it that way. Just like his mother didn't want to abuse him, she just kept going out with men who put him in toxic situations. You couldn't respect what he was telling you, so you thought if you blindsided him in his own home, he'd be able to trivialize the abuse as easily as you and his mother have managed to do. Your RA resource said, this isn't even so much about him not trusting you. It's about you taking action that shows him you don't trust him. He told you his mother is awful and he cut her off accordingly. Maybe he's lying. We can't possibly know, but that's something you should have learned prior to getting engaged. So let's assume your fiance had his reasons and that's that. His mother reaches out to you. After hearing her story, you felt a lot of empathy, and fair enough. The problem is you have no idea if it's the truth. Honestly, maybe it is. But you decided to take action based on the words of his mother over what he's told you. She loves you. She literally doesn't know you. Your first action should have been to talk to him. You chose to blindside him. To even suggest that you didn't want to is dishonest. That's literally the only reaction he could have had if you didn't talk to him. He wouldn't budge. Maybe it's because he had a reason not to. You took it upon yourself to decide it was in his best interest to reconnect. That's monumentally inappropriate and unacceptable. Full disclosure, I'm a guy happily married and family is everything to me. I have an amazing relationship with my parents and my wife feels the same. I tell you this so that you understand I'm not coming at this with an inherent bias to easily say forget family. I'm not. I obviously can't blindly speak for everyone, but if I were in his position, I'd have responded exactly the same way. This certainly isn't a perfect comparison, but let's put things into perspective. He told you that his mother wasn't a mother, that she showed him little care, and that their relationship was toxic. Let's say separately that his ex was hardly a girlfriend, showed him little care, and that their relationship was toxic. If she reached out, would you empathize? Of course not. A parent is obviously different, but a bad relationship is a bad relationship. He decided it was bad enough that his life was better without her in it. Why would you think it's okay to not just question it but intervene? So how do you get him to forgive you? No guarantees, of course, but all you can do is apologize and say you were out of line and that it'll never happen again. See how he responds and go from there. Good luck. Update. We broke up. My fiance and I tried to work it out, but his mom kept visiting us and waiting outside our apartment, which put a mental strain on my boyfriend. Our lease isn't over yet, so we couldn't leave, and my fiance, well, I guess my ex-fiance, said that anytime his mom visits, he can't help but feel overwhelming resentment. He said it wasn't fair to me or to him because he doesn't want us to be in a relationship built on resentment. 6 years thrown down the drain. I guess you guys were right. I really don't know how to move on. We were together for 6 years. We have grown so much together, and part of me can't really fathom a reality without him. Is there anything aside from therapy, he is already in therapy, that could help him with the growing resentment, or is it just over between us? We still plan to live together for 3 more months. Please be nice. I'm too embarrassed to talk to my friends about this. This last post was made in the AITA subreddit by a deleted user. The post is titled, "I broke up with my BF because I had a bad feeling about his best friend and him. I wanted to avoid the drama. I have always been a really chill person. I've always gotten along with everyone and I really appreciate my mental peace. I hate unnecessary drama. I've been dating Zach for 3 years. He's always had his best friend Mia, who is studying in another country. They always talked via text or video call. That never bothered me at all because I also have male friends. Mia was always disinterested when Zach was by my side during his video calls, and to be honest, I wasn't interested in her either, but Zach wanted us to be friends, so I tried. Mia listens to the same music as I do, so once, 3 years ago, I texted her on WhatsApp to try to have a friendly conversation, but she saw the message, never answered me, and blocked my number. I thought, what a rude person, but I let it go and never talked about it to Zach so I wouldn't make trouble. I just thought maybe she didn't want to make friends, and I respected that. Not long ago, she returned to the country now to stay and live here again. Zach asked me if she could stay in our apartment and I said no. Apparently, Zach told her that I was the one who refused to let her stay with us because Mia has been doing everything to criticize me since that day. She has criticized my work, my studies, my hair, my clothes, etc. Zach always says that's just how Mia is and that I should be her friend because she's really funny. Many times she has tried to make me jealous with comments like, you know that I used to take baths with Zach when we were little kids. And she gets upset when I just say, alright, at those random comments because honestly, why should I be jealous of that? She sits on Zach's lap, he cuddles with her every time they have the chance, they whisper to each other, and they go out together sometimes. I obviously can't help but think that at any moment I will come back to the apartment and she will be wearing one of his shirts, and I don't want to deal with that, to be honest. The worst thing is that Zach really seems to like seeing me jealous. When I tell him something is bothering me, he laughs, saying, "Aw, you're jelly," and stuff like that without taking me seriously. It's pretty annoying to know that he likes making me feel that way, and Mia has been really irritable lately, as if she's competing with me. It feels like they're trying to make a soap opera out of my life. She always tries to make me jealous with stupid things, like when she said she knows Zach's favorite sushi and I don't, to which I replied, then buy sushi for everyone, because I don't care at all. I've told Zach on several occasions that his friend is an idiot, and he just says Mia is like that and I should just ignore her comments. But honestly, I don't have the energy to deal with that girl and not lose my temper by the end of the month, so I told Zach I'm going to move out and it's better to give ourselves some time. I haven't moved yet, so he's been coming to my room to tell me that I'm letting my insecurity speak for me and that he doesn't feel anything for Mia. I told him I'm not insecure, I just want to protect my mental peace and avoid drama. He got angry, saying I should fight for him and not be so apathetic. He said that if I love him, I would be fighting for him. But I have always had the philosophy that if someone wants to cheat on you, they will do it even if you say no. I don't know if I'm being too cold about this, but I'm not the kind of person who enjoys drama. I was always the cold type of person. I hate it, and I know Zach and Mia are enjoying this love triangle. I really care about Zach, and we had a great relationship, but I care much more about my mental health. Am I the asshole? Edit, I haven't moved out yet because we pay rent together. The whole month of rent is already paid by me because he couldn't come up with the money to pay for this month, but he's supposed to pay for the next month. Plus, I have to wait for my parents to fix my room again, so for now, I have to leave my things here. At the beginning of the year, the lease was updated, so I spent a lot of money on that, and the rent went up by 40%, so it's money wasted now. I'm pretty sad about that since my father was the one who helped me pay for my part of the expenses for that apartment. Z Eldepin said, if he isn't fighting for you, why would you fight for him? Deleted user said NTA. Tell him that when two people actually love each other, there is no need to fight for the other person's love. There isn't a reason why you have to deal with another woman sitting on his lap and flirting with him. She isn't respecting you and he isn't respecting your relationship. Dump him and move on. You will find an amazing person to be with. Update. I discovered Mia was sleeping with Zach, she's expecting his baby, and they kicked me out of the apartment, but I'm pregnant too. Nah, that didn't happen. I spoke with Zach to ask him to have a good coexistence because I'm going to stay a few more months here. After talking a bit with him and my father, we came to the conclusion that it is better for both of us to continue living together in a healthy way. We both have our own bedrooms after all. There are many reasons why we should continue to live together at least until the lease expires, but I won't bore everyone with those reasons. Most of them are because of money and how expensive the bus would be to get from my home to my work and college every day if I went back to my parents' house. We both cried and I asked Zach what he expected to happen when I saw him treat Mia that way. He admitted that he likes the way I look when I'm upset. He said it's a self-esteem issue he has, but he needs me to show him all the time that I love him, and the fact that I never reacted affected him a lot. Honestly, he's attractive and I know he's always been pretty conceited, but I used to think that was just the way he was. Now I see that it's actually a problem. He has narcissism. Zach said that when he sees that I don't get jealous, he feels annoyed and even more insecure because he thinks I don't love him, since he always shows me when he's jealous. He said he doesn't have feelings for Mia at all, but he likes to see my face when she talks to me that way. Zach knows Mia likes him, but he said she's like that with all her male friends too. And at first he thought it was funny to see my annoyed face, but then it started to bother him that I never reacted. I did react, but it was by talking like an adult. He probably wanted me to yell and pull her hair. Zach even mentioned other times he wanted me to be jealous about other girls, but honestly, I had no idea he did that because I think if someone is going to cheat on you, they're going to do it even if you tell them not to. I'm not going to fight for a man. I told him he's a weird idiot and his insecurity ruined our relationship. I had that thought of, did I really sleep with this person? So now I want the earth to swallow me. He has always been very kind and we had a beautiful relationship, but I just can't forget that behavior and the fact he made me feel bad about Mia. Our conversation was pretty calm after that. Zach admitted that he ruined our relationship and I made it clear to him that we won't be a couple again. I'm a little uncomfortable, but surely as the days go by, we can be friends or at least be civil with each other. At the end of the day, we both look for different things in a partner. He wants a passionate woman who feels things just as intensely as he does, and I want a mature and focused man to live in peace. I think I'm too cold for him and he's looking for another kind of woman. Anyway, just know that no, I'm not going to be in a relationship with Zach again. That boat has already sailed. For now, I just want to try to make this coexistence work since we both know that it is what is convenient for us. And at least on my part, I am not going to screw it up. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and thank you also to partner of the channel, GamerSupps. Use code DLAM to support the channel and get 10% off of your purchase, link in the description. I'm sure many of you like me have a hankering for daily caffeine, so go check them out. Lately, I've been a big fan of Titty Milk and Acid Rain, but they've got dozens of other flavors for y'all to try out. Anyway, thanks again for reaching the end, and I hope you all have an amazing passage of the next 24 hours.